Welcome back, everybody. We're here to pull cards for March the 24th. I'm going to be pulling one card per sign. That should give you a little bit of information if you know your sun sign, and if you know your house placements, it should give you actually quite a lot of information. Thank you guys very much for being here. Thank you for sharing this video, for liking this video, and for commenting down below. I think we're ready to get started. Woot woot. All right, so Aries, what do we have for you, my dears? Eight of Wands showing up right off the bat. So Eight of Wands is telling me that there's a lot of communication going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Some people associate this card with falling in love. I haven't seen that so much, although it could be kind of indicated by the hearts at the Wands tips there. So maybe you're having some conversations where you're falling in love as you talk back and forth with somebody, for those of you who are in a situation where you're open to that. But for me, this is more all about communication, things going back and forth, negotiations, interviews, just text messages even going back and forth. So lots of communication going on today for you, Aries. Next up, let's look at Taurus. So Taurus, you guys have the Two of Swords. This is telling me that you are making a decision today. You are making a decision today. Just feeling into this card a little bit more. There's so many really cool details here. Yeah, I really think your decision has to do with the idea that there are things that are black and white in your life as far as you can see, as far as your perspective, and there are other things that are sort of in the gray area. And I think you are trying to make some type of decision, or making some type of decision today about where you're comfortable with landing. Are you comfortable landing with this decision on a black or a white thing? Are you comfortable with a shade of gray? Exactly where do you want to be in a situation? It's kind of like a high road or a low road type of decision here coming up for you. Okay, and that was Taurus. Next up, let's look at Geminis. Okay, so Gemini placements. We've got a Two of Pentacles showing up in reverse. This just means that we have a lot of things going on today, and something could be falling through the cracks. And so this is a great day to delegate responsibilities. If there's somebody in our sphere of influence who can handle some of our responsibilities, it's a great day to delegate to make sure that nothing actually does fall through the cracks. Sometimes this can also be financial as well. So this could be about the idea of the checking account being in the red or something like that as well, whenever something's falling through the cracks because you're trying to cover a lot financially. There's just not enough to rob Peter to pay Paul. So that could be going on too, and if that's the case, then you want to be thinking about backup plans. How can we accomplish what we need to accomplish without going red in the checking account? All right, next up, let's look at Cancer. Cancer, Queen of Wands showing up right side up. La da 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 da. I'm getting I'm getting a range of energy here. For some of you, this is pretty playful energy that you're having. For others of you, I feel like you could be stirring the pot a little bit today. I think that's the way I want to say it. So some of you are just going to be very playful, joking around, just goofing off in your conversations with somebody today. But others of you, I think you're going to be saying some things and, trying to come off as if, you're just saying them kind of innocently. But actually what you're doing is you're watching for reaction. You're actually trying to push somebody into reacting to some of the things that you're saying. And I don't feel like that's so playful. I feel like there's a little bit, for those of you that it applies in this degree, it may be that there's a little bit of resentment, or for some of you, you may actually be trying to find out information and thinking if you push somebody a little bit, they'll end up giving you information without realizing that that's actually what they're doing. So for a lot of you, I'm going to say for more than 50% of you though, this is playful conversations that are happening today with the Queen of Wands showing up the way she does in this deck. All right, so who was that? That was Cancer. Next up, let's look at Leo. Leo, 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 Leo. Oop. Okay, so Seven of Wands. This just tells me, Leos, that there are certain things that you want to get accomplished today, and I think you are setting some boundaries so that you can actually get those done. So this could be turning off the phone or putting it on airplane mode, or you know, just not responding to anything. Maybe you just put it on silent and don't respond to anything until you get done with whatever this is that you want to get accomplished. But definitely setting some boundaries here today. I think you feel like if people can continuously interrupt you, then you don't get to focus on something that you really need to focus on. All right, so that's Leo. Next up, let's look at Virgo. Virgo, Virgo. Ace of Wands showing up in reverse. Virgos, I feel like there's somebody in your sphere of influence who is looking up to you and is appreciating how you're handling things and really being inspired by you. What a nice thing. This means, of course, be on your best behavior, because if somebody's being inspired by you, we don't want to inspire them to do things that later on we wish they would not have learned from us. So we want to be on our best behavior today. Especially, well, I don't know if there's an especially, but I'm going to say, especially if it's little kids. You know, like we don't want them to come behind us and watch us and think, wow, if I could just cuss as good as that person. And you know they pick it up. All right, so anyway, let's get off of that track, Virgo. That was you. Next up, let's look at Libra. Temperance in reverse for Libras. Isn't this funny? When it's right side up, doesn't it kind of look like she's a little fairy or something standing on top of a pendulum? Balance in those two cups. Looks like a hot cup and a cold cup. Cup of fire and a cup of water. Interesting. Okay, so, but we did get it in reverse, so Temperance in reverse. What do we have for you guys, Libras? Libras, I'm going to tell you, I think that you're really on a roller coaster today, and I think that roller coaster has to do with your emotions. I think that you're getting in some really good news and some really bad news, and some really good news and some really bad news. So I think that the highs and the lows are right there, just all almost right on top of each other is what I'm feeling for you today, Libras. All right, next up is Scorpios. Moon card in reverse. The truth is coming out, baby. We like it. So this, for me, when the moon card comes up in reverse, this is talking about some kind of truth that was buried, sometimes intentionally and sometimes not. Sometimes it could have been right in front of our noses, but we didn't really realize it. And so this is the truth that's coming out. Now, when the truth comes out as in a moon card, then it's basically saying that whatever this truth is, it kind of came out organically. Somebody said something that tipped us off and got us asking more questions, or somehow whatever this truth is, it just came out completely without us trying to dig for it. We don't have to dig for it when the moon shows up in reverse. It just shows up. It pops up. Okay? I really like this card because to me the truth makes you free. Makes you free. And this can be that you're seeing what somebody is really like if you happen to have Scorpio placements. This can be even that because Scorpios have a lot of intuitive abilities. This can even be the idea that we kind of knew something but we didn't have evidence. Well, now the evidence is right in front of our faces. we can't escape this truth when it shows up on a moon card in reverse either. It's not something that we can just sweep under the rug and pretend we didn't see it. It's not unseeable. You have to see this. All right, so we have some kind of truth coming up today, Scorpios. And this truth generally also is one that by having this truth, it helps us understand more about where we really want to be in a particular situation and how we really want to handle it. Where before we might not have known, we might have been confused, or we might have thought that we should handle it one way, and then when we find out the truth, we realize it needs to be handled another way. So either confusion is being cleared up, or we're changing course with whatever this is that moon card energy is attached to that's showing up for us today. Okay, so that's for those of us with Scorpio placements. Sagittarius, what do you have? What do you have? Okay, so Sagittarius, Page of Cups. We like it. This is somebody letting you know exactly how they feel about you. And I think that this may even be something that they're not very good at expressing normally, so it may be a little bit of a surprise to you. Next up, let's look at Capricorn. Capricorn's Two of Cups in reverse. What do we think about that? Such an interesting card. Okay, Two of Cups in reverse. Capricorns, this is telling me that there's something that really was intriguing you. It was drawing you in. You were feeling really attracted to whatever this was, whether it was an idea, a theory, a project, a hobby, a person. There was something that, you were really enjoying thinking about or talking to or talking about or working with. And now you're coming to a place today, Capricorn, where you're like, just not as interested in this as I was before. I could kind of live with this or live without this either way, which is a shift. It's a definite energetic shift about how you felt about this. Okay, so that was Capricorn. Next up, let's do Aquarius. Seven of Pentacles, payday. Payday for those of you who are Aquarians. So there's something that you have put energy or effort into that now you are reaping the reward of. Okay, just like a farmer, whenever they have planted the field and now the crops are ripe and they go harvest those crops and take them to market. This is that. This is payday. Harvest the crops. Now I know a lot of readers will tell you that the Seven of Pentacles means waiting for those crops. I don't. I've never read this card like that in any of the decks I've ever had. For me, Seven of Pentacles is straight up payday. If it's in reverse, then we have to wait for payday. But for me, this is saying it's payday. So those of you who are Aquarius, you are definitely receiving some type of payoff, payback, something like that. We like it. And this is for something that you have put some energy or effort into already. Okay, next up, let's look at Pisces. Pisces, Ace of Swords showing up in reverse. Ace of Swords in reverse. Yep, Pisces, I think you're passing along some good idea, or a good idea, or some good ideas to someone in your sphere of influence. And this someone could be your little one. Maybe you're teaching them to tie your shoe, all the way up to, teaching a whole bunch of people at a class and anything in between, but passing along good information to somebody in your sphere of influence today. We like it, Pisces. Okay, guys, so thank you very much for being here today. I do appreciate those of you who are booking Reiki sessions and readings with me. And if I don't get to work with some of you, well, I will be working with some of you personally later on. Looking forward to that. And the rest of you, I'll see you back on the next video. Peace out.